Sound check, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Check, check, check. 1, 2. Check, check, check. My older cousin had told me not to bother. He said I should stay home. We'd never get in. But I knew it was worth the risk, because fabric was the dream. We'd waited months for this night, and I'd be 18 at midnight. My friends and I had scraped together every last penny to hire a rusty old minibus to take us into London. Where I grew up, the done thing to do for your birthday was another drunken night down the local playing cheesy dance floor hits. Tonight was going to be different. It must have been the most hyped night in history. All the way to the club, my heart was beating out of my chest. The queue was winding round the block. Every single one of my drum and bass heroes was DJing tonight. There was one huge bouncer. No, he was bigger than that. There were still 120 minutes and 36 seconds until I was officially 18. Would he let us in? We shoved my two tallest mates to the front of the queue, and bam, they safely walked past the bouncer. I was up next. The bouncer looks me up and down. Unimpressed. Sweat beads were forming on my forehead. In you go, lad. We were in. We were jumping, whooping. This is it. This is the moment. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. As I crossed the threshold, my ears were filled with the almighty sound of jungle music in full force. Green lasers were scanning the dance floor. People started to move their feet to the rhythms. The bass was shaking my insides. Some world-famous MCs were on stage that night, but there was one young MC that no one had heard of before, and he was taking the place by storm. He just had so much control, and all he said was, look down at the ground, close your eyes, and when I say, just move, go! When I opened my eyes, I found myself dancing alone in a sea of strangers, just hundreds of bodies pulsating in the dark. I felt so hot like I couldn't breathe. I needed some air. I pushed my way through the crowd until I found a side door. I stepped outside and drank in the cool oxygen. In the corner of my eye, I spotted a group of MCs and DJs waiting to go on stage. A whoosh of adrenaline rushed through my body. I had to do this. I don't know why, but I just closed my eyes and started beatboxing as loud and as fast as I possibly could. I was sure they heard me, and all of a sudden, all of my drum and bass heroes and DJs are walking towards me. They stop, they turn to look at me, but they keep on walking. Apart from one guy who doesn't walk past. He comes and stands right next to me, and I realise it's the same MC that had been taking the place by storm all night. He listens to my beatboxing, and he says, bruv, can you do anything a little bit slower?
Yeah.
He starts to rap on top. Yeah, yo, yeah. It was a little bit better when he did it. Bruv, you're like well sick at beatboxing. What is your name? Okay, well, my middle name is Shlomo, but up until that moment in time, people had only ever called me Simon, but I thought, whatever. Yeah, my name's Shlomo. Cool. He explained to me that he was about to head out on the road and would I like to join him on tour. I said, well, I've got my A-level geography in the morning, but all right then. I looked at my watch. It was almost midnight. I was nearly 18, but where were my mates? I tried to find them, but I couldn't move. The crowd was just too dense. I started to panic. I was losing control. Then I felt a hand on my shoulder. Suddenly, we were all together, laughing, joking, dancing, raving. You never guess what, guys? Nah, mate, look at the time. They counted down to midnight and lifted me on their shoulders. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Make some noise if you feel that.